For centuries, the Galactic Council had viewed humanity as nothing more than a footnote in the grand history of the universe. Compared to the towering Solarians, the telepathic Vortari, or the technologically superior Zarkath, humans were insignificant, a primitive species barely worthy of notice. To the Galactic Council, humans were just another minor race, tolerated but never truly respected. The Council allowed them to trade, to explore, and to colonize a few barren moons, but that was the extent of their generosity. Humanity was considered a curiosity, nothing more. But then the Krax Dominion set its eyes on Earth. The Krax were an empire of conquest, a war-driven species that expanded relentlessly, absorbing or annihilating any civilization that stood in their way. Their ships were massive, their weapons devastating. No species had ever been able to stop them. When their fleet entered the Sol system, the Galactic Council did nothing. Why would they? Protecting humanity wasn't worth the effort. After all, they assumed Earth would surrender. They assumed wrong. First contact with the Krax Dominion. The Krax Dominion was not interested in diplomacy. When their fleet of warships entered the outer edges of the Sol system, they broadcast a single message on all human frequencies. Surrender your planet, serve the Dominion, resist, and be eradicated. Their message was clear, their intent undeniable. They had issued the same warning to dozens of species before, and every single one of them had either surrendered or been wiped from existence. But Earth's response was unexpected. Instead of surrendering, humanity sent back a simple reply: come and take it. The Krax were amused at first. They saw humanity as a primitive, disorganized species with no chance of resisting a full-scale invasion. Their overconfidence was absolute. They would soon learn the truth. The Battle of Jupiter, the first clash between humanity and the Krax, occurred near Jupiter. The Krax sent a vanguard fleet, 20 warships, each larger and more heavily armed than any human vessel. It was meant to be a show of force, a brutal display to crush humanity's will to fight before the real invasion even began. The Galactic Council observed from a distance, expecting a swift slaughter. Humanity's ships were smaller, outdated, and, by all known standards, outmatched. But when the battle began, something strange happened. Instead of rigid formations and predictable tactics, humanity fought with a level of adaptability that no other species had ever displayed. They used guerrilla tactics in space, something the Krax had never encountered before. Human warships didn't just attack head-on. They used the environment to their advantage. They lured Krax vessels into Jupiter's gravity well, using the gas giant's immense pull to slingshot missiles at impossible speeds. They deployed electronic warfare systems that scrambled Krax targeting computers. They hijacked enemy communications, turning the Krax's own ships against them. In less than 2 hours, the once mighty Krax vanguard was reduced to floating wreckage. The Galactic Council was stunned. For the first time in history, the Krax had lost a battle. Humanity's greatest weapon, their mindset. It wasn't just their technology, it wasn't just their weapons, it was their mindset. Most species saw war as a terrible necessity, something to be avoided whenever possible. Humanity saw war as an art, a puzzle to be solved. For thousands of years, humans had fought each other. They had waged wars across continents, across oceans, across the very skies. They had studied war, perfected it, turned it into something beyond mere survival. Unlike other species, humanity had no singular way of fighting. They were unpredictable, always adapting, always changing. The Krax had never fought an enemy like this. When the second wave of Krax warships arrived near Mars, they expected a conventional battle. Instead, they found themselves facing chaos. Human ships didn't follow any established patterns. They attacked and retreated, used stealth systems to disappear, then struck from unexpected angles. They set asteroid traps, turned space stations into missile platforms, and even deployed artificially intelligent drones that hacked into Krax warships and turned them against their own fleet. The Krax, who had spent centuries perfecting the art of overwhelming force, found themselves outmaneuvered at every turn. For the first time, the mighty Krax Dominion was losing. The turning point. Frustrated and humiliated, The Cracks decided to end the war in one decisive strike. They gathered their full invasion force, thousands of warships, planetary bombardment cannons, and entire legions of soldiers. Their target, Earth itself. It was an overwhelming force, larger than anything humanity had ever faced. The Galactic Council, watching from the sidelines, fully expected this to be the end of humanity. But instead of preparing for a final stand, humanity did something terrifying. They took the war to the Cracks' homeworld. A hidden fleet, one the Cracks and even the Galactic Council had never detected, had been preparing in secret. While Earth's defenses held off the invasion, this fleet jumped directly to Cracks Prime. It was madness. It was suicide. And it worked. The fall of the Cracks. The human fleet didn't waste time. They launched kinetic bombardments, dropping rods of tungsten from orbit that hit with the force of nuclear bombs. They hacked planetary defense systems, turning them against the Cracks. They infiltrated Cracks' military command centers and assassinated their leaders with precision strikes. The Cracks, who had never known fear, suddenly faced annihilation. Their fleets, once unstoppable, were in chaos. Their warriors, bred for conquest, found themselves facing an enemy that fought like demons. Within weeks, the Cracks' dominion collapsed. Their warships fell silent. Their homeworld burned. Their leaders surrendered unconditionally. And for the first time in history, the Galactic Council saw humanity for what they truly were. Not weak, not primitive, but survivors, warriors, and perhaps the most dangerous species the galaxy had ever encountered. Victory, and a warning. With the war over, humanity broadcast a single message to the entire Galactic Council. We did not seek war, but if war finds us again, we will end it on our terms. The lesson was clear. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was not to be underestimated. And from that moment forward, the galaxy would never make that mistake again. Humanity F***, yeah***.